Good morning everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Tea and Scones. My guest today, Danielle Lo Passo. So, Danielle, fabulous to have you here. I know
Thank
you're
you.
jealous, but I'm just going to show everyone today. We have gone back to scones, jam and cream, and a cup of tea, and you are so jealous.
I really am. I know, yes.
Send you one soon. So, to anyone who's out there watching us today, please feel free to make comments, ask questions. I've opened up the chat box here, so we're ready when you want to ask us anything. So, Danielle, do you want to just tell us quickly a bit about Vocal Adrenaline? I love what you do. You're so passionate about your business. So here's your chance to just talk quickly about what it is. Yeah, what it is, what you do, and how proud you are of your contestant on The Voice.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so I own a music school on the Gold Coast. Very lucky to be doing what I do. We teach singing, piano, guitar, and drama, and we have students of all ages, all abilities. And yeah, that's just life for me on a daily basis, and it's just the best. Love it.
Absolutely. And tell me the name of the girl we should be watching on The Voice this weekend.
Imogen.
And I know you're sworn to secrecy. I know you can't tell us any more.
I can't.
I hate that you know and you can't tell me.
I know, it's infuriating, isn't it? Yeah, no, she's on again. I think the next one's this weekend, like this coming Sunday. So yes, look out for Imogen. Okay. She's the littlest contestant. Well, she is the littlest contestant, but also the youngest contestant ever in The Voice history.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations to you on
Thank you.
on the help that you've obviously given her along the way. Is she the one whose song you launched the other day on your? You sent me a recording of someone. Yep.
Yeah. So, I think she released it about it would have been a month or so ago. It's a really good track, her new one.
Yeah. Well, maybe afterwards we can you can put a link into iTunes or something for
for sure.
That or Spotify or whatever. But look, thanks for coming on, Danielle, today. You're probably the youngest we've had on the program to date too, so there's something in that.
Yes.
So welcome and thanks for joining us today. Look, I was just going to go through. We've done some work together and some talking sessions together in regard to starting the week off positively and so on, starting your meetings off positively with positive focus. And one of the exercises we used was, looking back over the last 90 days, what are the things that have worked really well for you, what's happening for you right now, and what's coming up in the future. And it's just such a great exercise, strategic coach exercise from Dan Sullivan, the coach, called The Moving Future. And how do you feel about that when you go through that? Look backwards, look at what's happening now that you're really grateful and it's going well, and the things that are coming up that you're most excited about. How does that work for you?
It's great. I actually love it. That was one of my favorite things that I took away from our meetings, actually, because I'm like a 200%
You need an app
person.
for everything. Yeah.
I need an app for everything. And I can't, I'm never, I don't know, everything has to be perfect, and I'm always racing to do things and blah, 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 blah. So I think to actually stop and go, what have I done that's actually worked? All the positives has actually been a really good thing. It's good for everyone, but for me in particular, it's been very, very good, because you don't realize how far you've come. And then you actually go, oh yeah, I did do stuff. And you feel like you're moving forward then. So yeah, that's really, I love it.
Absolutely. Progress, not perfection, is just such a good phrase. Focus on what you have, how you have moved along. Don't get, which was good exercise for you too, was not to get hung up on perfection. Focus on what you actually have achieved, because sometimes we don't look back and we don't necessarily appreciate where we've come from and the progress that we've made. And I apologize to everyone if you can hear the jackhammering still in the back today. I just can't do anything about it. It's there. So for example, over the last 90 days, probably been 90 days backwards from now was pretty much back to the start of when all this sort of started to unravel with around the world and so on. So, but out of that, and certainly it is for me, and I'm happy to talk about mine in a minute. Danielle, is there? Sorry, Danielle. It's not Danielle. Danielle.
Good memory.
Is there? Tell me what's really been a proof of progress for you in the last 90 days. So whilst we've been through doom and gloom, what's actually been working for you?
Well, I don't know. When I think about it, I was actually having one of those what have I achieved moments a couple of weeks ago. And I really was so proud of myself for being able to get through this pandemic, because I know there were a lot of people that, well, didn't have the opportunity to, go online. A lot of things that they just physically could not do it. So we were lucky that we were actually able to utilize that online tool. We didn't love it. It was it's not fun not being able to see your students and interact with them like that, but just so grateful to have had that opportunity to do that, and that we've built such a good name that a lot of our students actually did stick with us and stay on board and supported us through it. So I was so happy about that. It's sort of like, I felt like, oh, we must be doing something right if people are sticking through this with us.
Zoom to the rescue.
It was a lifesaver, because we sort of fit in a weird category, because we're not like a dance school with which they consider like a recreational kind of activity. I called so many people and no one knew where we sort of fit in. So we had some kids coming in, obviously with social distancing and all of that. But we had like a humongous bulk of people doing Zoom. So yeah, it was crazy. It didn't foresee that coming. So
but also, I mean, we've talked in the past about how you need to create these studios and you've got to set up all this extra space to build your business. You had to, in the past, you would have been thinking about how much more space you needed. But I mean, and I think one of the things that's been an opportunity for growth for most people in the last 3 months has been the fact that now we can do a lot more of this stuff, and it's okay. People are suddenly, even people who don't use computers or allegedly don't use computers and phones are jumping onto Skype meetings, and it's okay, isn't it? It's socially acceptable now to have conversations, to have meetings, to have business meetings, certainly. And now that you're doing singing training over Zoom, I mean, who would have thought? 3 months ago?
That's it. I mean, we were doing a couple, like we've got like a couple of interstate students anyway, so they were already doing Zoom lessons, but it went from being like, I probably had 2 Zoom lessons a week to like 50. It was just crazy. But it's a fantastic tool, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think what everyone has found is, over this period of time, there's been new tools, resources, capabilities, and so on that might have gradually come in over a 3-year period that suddenly came in, and we've all just got used to them over 3 months. So I mean, the growth, the opportunities for different ways to do business with clients, and the opportunities to us to do things so much more effectively, efficiently, and less in a less costly way. I mean, you don't need to travel, do you? So I mean, doesn't help airlines and hotels and everybody else. But I mean, we know we don't need to travel as much as we used to achieve probably what we need to achieve.
That's right. It's probably a good push as well for some people, like who might have been scared to use it before. It was sort of like, well, you don't have an option now, so. And then it's like, it's not as bad as you think, really, is it? Like, people get a bit scared of technology sometimes, but it's okay once you do it. No, not you either. We love technology.
No, that's right. Yeah, we both usually sit around swapping our newest apps.
Literally. Yeah.
So okay, so that's what's happened in the last 90 days for you. So which is great. So it's actually been a positive experience, and for a lot of those people, I assume, will probably continue to do a number of their meetings by Zoom anyway. I mean, when it's convenient for them.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of them have just said it's easier. So
great.
That's what it is.
Great.
Yeah.
So what's happening for you right now? Let's talk about what's happening right now that in your business, personal life, that you're most excited about.
Well, it's just been such a weird time. Sorry?
I'm putting you on the spot here, I know.
You are. No, I had so many plans for this year. Like, I wanted to open another studio. I wanted to put on all these extra like cabaret shows to showcase our like really advanced students. There were so many things I wanted to do, and I haven't been able to do it, which really, you know what I'm like, it really annoyed me a lot at the beginning of the year. But I think this sort of whole period has made me really slow down and not be so obsessive about things, which has actually been good. Yeah, it has been really, really good. So yeah, I'm sort of just taking it surprisingly easy at the moment. We don't, because the restriction, it's kind of difficult for us in terms of putting on concerts and things, because with the 1 person per 4 square meter rule, it makes it really difficult to put on a show. So you don't know like how you're going to separate everyone. Like it's easy in a private lesson, you just stay, 2 meters apart, it's fine. But yeah, with a show, it's really difficult. So we've had to cancel our mid-year concert, which was very upsetting, but we're just doing it online. It's not going to be anything like our normal one, but it's something.
But you're still doing it, which is great. You found a way.
Yeah. That's it. We found a way, and it'll be fine. But yeah, like all the big cabaret shows I wanted to do, I don't know if we're going to be able to do them. The new studio, again, it was meant to be across the border, so it's going to be sort of difficult to get to and from to sort of see venues. And so I'm sort of like, I don't know if I should just wait until at least the border's open. And so everything's sort of like, there's these things that I want to do, but I'm kind of stuck at the moment. A little bit annoying.
That's okay. Well, that's okay.
It's okay.
But once all the restrictions have gone, what you best spend your time doing now is planning for what you want to achieve. Remember, if you watch back probably in the first couple of these sessions, we had the first 100 days after lockdown finishes. So I mean, if you put a line in the sand, I think, what is it, the 10th of July is when the borders open again, I believe, for Queensland.
Yeah.
In the first 100 days, good planning exercise for everyone that's watching as well is after the 10th of July, what are you going to achieve in the first 100 days? How will life, because life will be different. I mean, there's that, life is not going back to normal. People say, when life's normal again. No, it's not going back to normal. It's going back to a different state and different state. And so the best planning you can do in this time. So I guess my take is, instead of frustration, be thinking, okay, what can I do in the first 100 days after this finishes, and take the opportunity to positively work towards that. But I understand where you're coming to too. Look, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, and we talked about, was what do you do on a daily basis, Danielle, to get yourself in the right frame of mind? Do you plan? A lot of people plan their 3 big rocks for the day. What are the things that are most important that they want to achieve today? They might start by gratitude, and now you don't have an excuse because you've just downloaded the 5-minute gratitude app. So what works for you? I mean, you're a successful young lady who's got a great business, and you're just changing the lives. What I really admire, Danielle, about you is that your passion is helping other people. It's more than the money or anything. I know you get off more on watching people achieve, and I know how much joy when you took your team was it nearly 2 years ago now over to Nashville on a tour, and you got the jackets and you got all that stuff. But I mean, your joy was in watching the kids, wasn't it? Just have that experience.
Always has been. Yes, for sure. So,
which is, I love that about you. And so what do you do on a daily or weekly basis to really get yourself in a great place and to be really focused on what it is that you want to achieve?
Well, I've got a lot of systems now that I use that make life so much easier and so much less time consuming for me. So I write all of my, as I think of things during the day, it goes straight into a program, like my to-do list basically. And then first thing in the morning, as soon as I get up, I'll make my coffee, I'll go straight to my computer. I'll get rid of all the emails and the messages and things like that, like the stuff that I know is going to be more time consuming because I know there'll be replies and things to deal with. And then I just go through my to-do list slowly. But instead of panicking about finishing everything in one go, I purposely, you can create due dates for things. So I purposely spread them out, and then if I feel like it, I'll get it done. If not, I don't do it. So I usually have a good maybe hour or so, depending what's happening at the time. I usually have an hour or so to just do whatever I want to do. So yeah, that puts me in a really good frame of mind, getting rid of the annoying stuff straight away, and then get into my day.
Clean up the messes early and
literally,
yeah. I'm just going to just while we're talking about that, I'm just going to talk about this 5-minute. What's the app called?
5-minute journal.
5-minute journal app.
Yeah.
Now, Sandra,
really cool.
Anna, onto this some weeks ago, and she uses the physical diary every day. Danielle and I can't cope with writing that much stuff down, so we need an app to do that. But I just want to talk you through the questions, and I just find this so easy. In fact, I do this first thing when I get up. It starts off, the first questions are, I am grateful for 1, 2, 3, and it just gets your mind in the right spot straight away. I'm grateful for my family, my health, my environment, whatever it is, my freedoms. Freedom, I love freedom as a word, because freedom is what we have, and I'm so grateful for that. The next questions are, what will I do to make today great? Sandra, I'm going to say again, Sandra Hannah, thank you for referring this to me. And I'm so glad I found the electronic version. What will I do to make today great? So you write down your 3 big, what we've talked about, this is the 3 big rocks. So everything else is fluff effectively, but the 3 big rocks, what do you need to get done that's really, really important today? So what will make today great? And then daily affirmations, I am, and you can just write in there, you don't have to share this with anyone else. You can just write in there, I am great, I'm strong, I'm whatever I am, I'm a magnet to good people, I'm whatever it is, or I'm a great conduit to help people achieve their dreams, which is what you are, Danielle. And then at the end of the day, it asks you, it says, what are the 3 amazing things that happened today? So you're starting off your day with gratitude, you're talking about focusing on your 3 rocks. It gives you the chance to go through your affirmations, and at the end of the day, it allows you to finish with a positive focus. What are the 3 things great things that happened today, amazing things, and how could I have made today even better? So it gives yourself, without beating yourself up about focusing on the gap, but it allows you to focus on what you did do, but what could have made today even better, which allows you then to, how do you bring that forward into the next day? So I really commend that. On commission, it's only $5 or something. So seriously, go. Anybody watching this, go out and buy that stuff. So are you using? I've asked you this before, whether you use gratitude as part of your daily routine, and I know your truth to me was that you haven't in the past, but I think you're understanding it's maybe you're doing it subconsciously, but there's an opportunity for you to do it consciously to achieve greater things.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm really excited about this journal. I think it's really important. And I do, like you said, I do it subconsciously if I'm being negative about something, or if I'm, I don't know, getting frustrated about something. I do try and turn that around and be like, well, hang on, this has happened. This has been good. This is, you've done so well, blah, 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 which really, really helps. It does change your mindset straight away. As soon as you think positively and actually sort of commend yourself on what you've done, it really does sort of snap you out of it, doesn't it?
Oh, look, absolutely. And I want to talk about, if I can raise too, talking about gratitude, is proactive gratitude. I think what happens in life, people tend to use reactive gratitude. And once again, I sound like a broken record. This is a Dan Sullivan, something I learned with Dan years ago, is that we all, it's easy to be reactive with gratitude. In other words, someone did something nice for you, so say, well, I'm really grateful for the fact that you shared your scones with me today, Mark. So reactive gratitude, next week. Reactive gratitude is showing appreciation for something that's already happened, or somebody's actually done something, and then you then go, okay, well, I need to react to that, so thank you, or whatever it is that you do to show gratitude. Proactive gratitude is appreciating the value of something that is just there.
Right.
It could be a garden, it could be the ocean just rolling in, it could be the fact that the freedom, as I said before, the freedom that we already have. But proactive gratitude means is that you actually think about it and you appreciate. And when if you talk about the value of gold or the value of a diamond, when we say it appreciates in value, it means that it achieves a higher worth. And so just taking time to appreciate something that's already in your life is a way that you can be proactively grateful. And as I say, it's actually more powerful, and I find it works better for me to try and find things each day and say, okay, well, what's something that this thing or these people haven't done something for me, but how can I how can I make that more valuable in my life? And that's a great way to proactively be grateful for something. Am I waffling here, or is this making sense?
No, it's great.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the skills that people that are watching, if you can learn that, is to say, okay, well, what am I just taking for granted? Because there's so many things in life that we do, we just take for granted. And if you can actually watch them and go, okay, you know what? I need to appreciate this more because of the value that it's bringing into my life. And I think that's a good mindset to have. Speaking of mindsets,
I love it.
Danielle, tell me about what are the mindsets that you find are most valuable for you. In regard to your work, and in regard to the team that you've got around you. What do you try and pass on to them? Because you've got I forget how many other teachers you have, coaches you have working for you. How do you motivate them? How do you get them up each week and get them performing to their best, so that they're the best they can be with your kids?
Appreciation, I think, is. Oh yeah, you're right. I think appreciation is the biggest thing. I do try and actively say thank you, or actively try and say you're doing a really good job here. I pass on positive feedback a lot. Like if parents will message me and say, "Oh, we had a great lesson," blah blah blah, I will always pass that on and let the teacher know. It's really, I think, appreciation is really, really important in any working environment, because if you don't feel appreciated, you're not really happy. So that's a really big thing of what we do, and we try and keep everything positive. If there's ever a not a fun conversation we've got to have, I try and sort of approach it with positives as well, and sort of like, I am here to help you, like how can we fix this, like not put the blame or anything like that. So trying those techniques instead of being so reactive, because my personality is to be reactive, and I think that was a really big downfall initially, especially when I was younger. I wasn't able to control my emotions when things happen, being such a perfectionist. I'm like, why is this happening? So yeah, that's definitely something I've had to pull myself up on and really try and be a proper manager, I guess. Yeah, and approach things better.
Yeah, Danielle, I'm actually loving our conversation today because you're actually being honest and raw, and I'm enjoying that, because it's all very well to have people sit here and say all the right things and say they do this and they do that and they're all perfect. But I mean, I love that you're actually telling the truth and talking about the fact that this was something that you haven't done well in the past, but you're making progress on, and you're growing. And I think that's look, I think telling the truth is where you start making progress. But for example, I said last week I've started meditating. I haven't this morning, so I've still got the opportunity to get it done before the day's out. But that was something that I wanted to do on a daily basis, and I'm getting way better at it. I used to do a little bit in the past, but I've decided I want to do that on a daily basis. I'm sticking, for those that are watching my fasting, I am still sticking to my 16/8 fast, and that's working really well for me. And I think this forum is helping me be accountable to more people too. So
it's true.
I'm not game to eat these scones.
Damn it! I really would have eaten them.
Oh, no, that wasn't a bit of jam, honestly. But anyway, look, what I'd like you to do is maybe you can give us a bit of a history, please, Danielle, about how you've built your practice over the years, because you weren't this you didn't have the number of teachers, you didn't have the number of students when you started. So how's it tended to progress from you? Because you're now the school that of choice, aren't you? That the other schools actually don't like you because people just want to come to
true.
you.
I know.
So do you want to talk about how you progressed?
That way. Yeah, so I started just on my own, actually. My teacher and mentor, she sold her studio, and I had a couple of students still, and she goes, "I'll just take them and teach them somewhere." I was like, oh my gosh, I was only 23 at the time, I think 22. So yeah, I just sort of built, I love what I do so much. I'm so passionate about what I do. And I think that passion and I guess my knowledge it started to grow. I always keep learning and learning new techniques, going to vocal workshops, do whatever I can to make sure I'm always staying on the front foot in the industry as well. And I just sort of grew as needed. I suddenly started getting full. I had a room at this place that I was renting from initially. She said, you can take the second room if you want. So I was like, cool, all right, let's try and find another teacher to come in. And yeah, it just kind of went from there. And when I sort of haven't been very, when I think about it, I haven't actually been very, what's the word? Like, I haven't been the one that's made these things happen so much. It's always been a product of what's happened to me. So my friend who I was renting the room from, she moved to New York. And then I was sort of forced to find my own venue. And that's when things really started to expand because we had more space. And then, yeah, we were getting inquiries up north. So I was like, all right, well, let's do a studio up there. And it just kind of, blew up in the last probably 3 years. We've gotten quite big.
Sure. And it's obviously going very well. And as I say, the trip you did to Nashville a couple of years ago, I mean, those kids will always remember that. And obviously some of them, I don't know what number, are still with you and still learning and still getting better all the time. And they've gone on, and I know you've got maybe you should put that link that I have on my iPhone playlist of all your students that have released songs, so to speak, their own compositions, and at what is it, 0.2 of a cent per play, they'll all get very rich if everyone who watches this plays their music.
I think it's 30. I was trying to find it. I think it's 30 seconds.
If you watch 30 seconds, they get some money.
I'll have to find the link and do it on my phone. Yeah, okay. They get paid. It's not a lot, but it's something.
That's right. Enough people watch it. No, we'll put it on the when this comes up on Facebook after the replay.
Yeah, I will. I'll try and find the link.
That would be great. So, Danielle, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Today is Monday, motivation, focus, and positivity. Any words for people that are watching that you'd like to finish off with today that you're happy to pass on?
Nothing in particular. I guess my biggest thing is find something that you're passionate about and make it work for you. So if you're stuck doing something you don't like, just think outside the box and find your passion. So important, whether it's a hobby or work. I don't know. That's really important to me. So that's probably my my piece of advice to anybody, I guess.
Find something you love and turn it into a business. That's right. Danielle, thanks for being with us today. I've really enjoyed our chat today. So thanks for being here with us, and I hope everyone's enjoyed this. I'm sure you have. I have, and look forward to seeing you all next week. See you then.
Thank you.